It is Monday night, and we are live once again for round number 8 of the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series. Tonight, we bring you live coverage of the Canadian Legend Cars West 150 from the Irwindale Speedway Inner 1/3 Mile. I am Jeff By Jr., joined by Bill Tomer in the broadcast booth. And Bill, we come to Irwindale, but we're going to run the small track on the bull ring in the middle, the 1/3 mile, and we're going to start 26 of the 32 drivers that we have on hand tonight.
Of course we would do that to them, Jeff. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, but no running the big track. We go directly to the little bull ring, and things have been heating up the last few weeks with this chase for the championship coming in just a couple weeks. Just 2 more races to lock yourself into one of those top 8 spots and race for a championship later this season.
Yeah, these guys looking to get into the championship rounds, so trying to put your best foot forward and doing it one of the tightest racetracks, if not the tightest racetrack ready to run at all season here at the Irwindale Inner Speedway. This one's going to be, I think, crazy, Jeff. We got a lot of cars here tonight.
Yeah, the International Short Track Association Fastest Time Award will go to whoever qualifies first in this current qualifying session. Josh Cottle to the top of the board early, 13.976. He was one of the fastest drivers in practice, too. Actually, the fastest driver in practice, so he backs up his practice speed in qualifying. Dylan Bates, number 2 so far, 13.984. The times are extremely close to the top of the board.
Watching Grayson Ward out on the racetrack right now in the number 9 machine. We saw that Parker Traves is out there. Comes Grayson Ward, going to put his time in. We're going to look at Dustin Momberket. He's out on the racetrack again this week once again. Grayson Ward goes P1 on that lap.
And then Dustin Momberket bumps him 13.955 to Grayson Ward's 13.956. It is just a 10 thousandths of a second separating them.
Holy cow. They basically matched lap times.
Yeah, that is unreal there. Grayson Ward just gets bumped out of the quick time spot. But Matt Barkhouse sitting 5th as well. Great qualifying effort from Matt Barkhouse. Improved on his practice speed. He wasn't in the 9s in practice, but he ran a 13.994 in qualifying.
Cole Cabrey trying to find his way out onto the racetrack, Jeff. He's having a hard time getting his lap in. Cole sometimes waits a little too long here in these qualifying sessions, but here he is going to take his lap.
Well, Bill, I don't know if you've noticed this yet or not, but our guy who's sitting 5th in points, Alex McCollum, not here tonight.
Yeah, I talked to Alex earlier today, said he might not be able to make it tonight. I didn't ask why, I just gave him a sad face.
And Cole Cabrey, not near the top of the board, going to end up around, I think, about 10th or so. And then that's going to be Aaron. Yeah, Aaron Amandroth's going to get the 18th and final spot directly into the A main. The rest of these drivers are going to come from a B main tonight.
Guess what we don't have this week, Jeff?
No slow dash. We do have a B main because we have 33 drivers going for 26 spots tonight. And this is going to be a tough B main. That's 15 cars in the B main. Only 8 going to move on. So on the pole for tonight's B main, we're looking for 8 drivers to move on to the feature event. On the pole, the number 34 machine, it's Kelsey Rogers. On the outside of him, and the number 52, it's Peyton Howell.
Starting in the 3rd position in the number 22 machine, that is Jordan Harnish, and to his outside of the number 28, it's Corey Bigley.
Starting 5th in this B main, the number 50, a Craig Tolley. On the outside of him, and the number 81, the ravishing one, it's Rick Rube.
Starting in the 7th position, I believe it's his birthday today, Jeff, in the 112. It's Del Mears. And to his outside, as soon as he grids, we don't see him just yet, but it's going to be the 19 car Wet Willie Howells.
Starting 9th in this B main, it'll be the number 42, a super Zach Onen. On the outside of him, and the number 21, it's Aaron Johnson.
Starting in the 11th position in the number 18 machine, that is Caden Fisher. And to his outside in the 09, it's the Joker, Elliot Carlson.
And here is a surprise on the back row of this B main. It'll be the 11 of Blaze Brinkley and the 31 of Daniel Pope.
I think both of those guys had issues in their qualifying laps. So those guys, 2 very fast cars, can start from the back of this B main event.
Well, remember, if you're hanging out with us on Facebook, like and share the stream. Make sure you leave us a comment. I see my dad in the chat. He gave us 50 stars. He is cheering for Brett Suggs tonight in the main event. Thank you for the 50 stars. Much appreciated.
And I'm sure Brett Suggs appreciates that as well.
So B main coming at you, and this is a big field, 15 car B main, 8 cars moving on, and there are some fast cars in this B main. It's hard to even pick 8 that can move on.
All of them. I mean, I feel like all of them should move on.
There's no slouches in this field. Well, here we go. Green flag is out for the B main. Kelsey Rogers off to the lead. Peyton Howell, he's going to slot into second. You see Jordan Harnish running third, Corey Bigley fourth. Battle is on further back. I see Zach Onan taking a look under the 81 of Rick Rube, not able to get there. And Willie Howell's on the outside of him. He's trying to hold on to that outside line.
Excitement beginning early. Guys on the outside trying to make it happen. You see Willie Howell's out there. Onan on the bottom. The outside would not be the preferred groove around here. Of course, that's most of the racetracks we go to, except for IRP that we were at last week. Well, not able to clear Willie Howell. Willie Howell's doing a great job. Aaron Johnson's there as well in the 21.
Howell's still stuck on the outside. Here comes Caden Fisher now. A little contact. Fisher is going to get sideways. Howell's going to get sideways. Everybody holds on. Daniel Pope able to pick up a couple spots out of that. He'll drive underneath the 18 of Caden Fisher, but this is way back in deep in the field around the 13th spot.
This is your battle for that transfer spot. We're not even paying attention at the moment what's going on up front. Those guys are all nose to tail. Zach Onan running in your 8th and final transfer, and laps are going to click off quickly here at this racetrack.
Yeah, Kelsey Rogers and Peyton Howell have just kind of lined up, and they're clicking off laps right now. No need to get too risky here at the start of this B main. Obviously, just transferring is the big thing. As I say that, Peyton Howell taking a peek under Kelsey Rogers for the race lead. Into turn 1, he's there door-to-door with Rogers.
Well, Del Mears just missed the corner, Jeff, as he slipped back to that 8th spot. He's caught on the outside. Here comes Blaze Brinkley up to the inside, but we are taking a look at this lead battle as Peyton Howell looking to pass Kelsey Rogers. Kelsey Rogers got a new paint scheme on that number 34 machine.
Yeah, new paint scheme for Kelsey Rogers. Only one set of numbers on the door. That helps a little bit. It makes it easier to spot that 34. Here comes the 22, Jordan Harnish, former Challenger Series champion, making his way up into the 2nd spot here in this B main. Again, 8 cars going to move on. So Kelsey not at too much of a risk here. He can afford to give up a few spots and get back in line. And he's going to try to slot in front of Corey Bigley in the number 28.
Bigley there in the 28 doing a great job in the top 4. Top 4, you can throw a blanket on him. Here comes Craig Tully in the 50. He's right there as well.
So Zach Onan at risk now. He is in the 8th and final transfer spot. And here comes the 31, Daniel Pope. Pope to the inside of the 42. He's going to try to take this final transfer spot away.
Daniel Pope looking to get in the show. Aaron Johnson coming as well. Zach Onan about to be on the outside looking in. He was 9th that last lap. Onan needs to get moving in a hurry. Behind him, you've got Caden Fisher, former late model Challenger Series champion. A lot of good cars in this B main, Jeff. It's incredible B main.
Yeah, Aaron Johnson currently out of a transfer spot right now. Same with Zach Onan. Caden Fisher, here he comes, trying to get underneath the 42. You got Del Mears, Elliott Carlson back there, Willie Howells. And this is just an absolutely stacked B main, and that's what you have to deal with when you come run on the Monday night late model shootout series. It's a struggle just to make the races.
Absolutely. We are watching this. This is Daniel Pope in the 31 machine. He is your last car in a transfer position. Behind him, the 21 of Aaron Johnson. You saw Zach Onan. He just lost a few spots, but was able to find his way in front of Caden Fisher. Caden Fisher running 11th in that 18 car.
Well, Blaze Brinkley has caught Rick Rube, and you're seeing the pressure the number 11 machine is starting to put on Rick in the 81. And if you're Rick, you really got to make sure you don't get shuffled to the outside. He can afford to give up a couple spots here. Now Zach Onan spins off turn 4. I see Del Mears going around. No caution. We are still green as those cars have kind of inched their way onto the apron.
Yeah, odd racetrack here.
Yeah, Peyton Howell is coming around, and he's going to see lap traffic now as Zach Onan jumps out of the way. He's going to try to get out of the way of the leaders, but tough break for Zach Onan. That's probably going to end his night of making the A, or his chance of making the A main.
Yeah, unfortunate for the 42 machine. He's not going to be into tonight's A main event. Peyton Howell doing it out front in that 52 machine. Still hasn't got any stickers on that one.
Caution, wait. And I don't see anything that would have caused it.
Did we lose Zach Onan possibly pulled off to get out of the way?
Well, Zach pulled off onto the half mile, was well out of the way, but I think when he stopped it, might have just triggered the yellow out there, which was interesting.
That's going to reset everything. Remember, yellow flags do not count in the B mains here at In the Zone Racing. So that's going to put us in a... I think that must have been for Onan, as Onan just got off the racetrack, but that brought out the yellow.
Yeah, kind of a strange situation there, because obviously the car spinning off of turn 4, that didn't trigger a yellow, but then the car stopped on the half mile outside the racetrack did, so just kind of a weird situation there. But you know, Zach gonna help out some of the guys that were involved in that incident there by bringing out that yellow. That's gonna stack up Dale Mears, Elliott Carlson again, and give them a chance to maybe make this feature event.
You know what we do need to tell Peyton Howe? He needs to get all the contingencies on the new car.
yeah. 1 week, okay. Second week, you got to get the paint scheme done, right? But his pace car is going to head off the racetrack. Peyton Howe going to take us green flag racing. Just a few laps to go in this one. About 6 to go when they cross the line. As everybody's single file right now. Nobody able to step out of line just yet.
We're going to keep an eye on that battle for that 8th and final transfer spot. Daniel Pope owns it. Aaron Johnson behind him. He wants it. That's a teammate on teammate battle. I don't know how racy Aaron's going to get with Pope out front.
Willie Howells gets into the back of Caden Fisher, knocks him up the racetrack, and I think that might have been some retribution for what happened a little earlier tonight. Blaze Brinkley, he is under Rick Rube. There's a battle going on for the 6th and 7th position. And now here comes Daniel Pope. Rick Rube stuck on the outside. The caution is going to wave. I think that's going to save Rube there, as I think Dale Mears might have just had an issue.
Well, Dale Mears off the racetrack. See if we get a quick replay. See what happened to Dell.
Well, that was a weird incident.
I think Dell's having issues with his brakes. That's what... Or his pedals altogether?
Yeah, not sure what happened there, but Dell tried to bail out of the 3rd mile onto the half mile.
That was interesting.
And that's going to trigger another yellow. Odd behavior there from the yellow flag crew here on iRacing, but...
Yeah, you would think that off the track meant you didn't have to worry about him, right? But not in that case. So we still have 5 laps remaining, actually make it 4 laps remaining in this race. We don't get a lot of yellows here in Irwindale Interjet because of the oddness of the shape of the racetrack and the fact that there is no infield here, no infield wall, and really no outer walls either in the straightaways. So, well, they're way out there, not close to the racetrack.
Kind of a self-cleaning track too, where their cars, when they spin, they end up in the infield, and they're just kind of down there. They have plenty of room to get going, and it doesn't really cause much of an issue. So you're going to see a lot of cars, if they get spun tonight, end up in the infield. They're going to do a 360 turn around and try to keep going, and try to keep this race running as long as possible without a caution.
A lot of dizzy drivers tonight in the KDD and Legend Cars West 150.
Yeah, this race previously last season won by Thomas Axum, or actually by Parker Traves, was at Oxford. The last time we ran here at Irwindale Inner, Thomas Axum won, and a lot of the drivers were saying this is a better track than Oxford. They prefer this over Oxford. As we go back, green flag racing to this B main, Peyton Howell out front, Jordan Harnish, Kelsey Rogers your top 3. And again, we're watching that battle as Daniel Pope took a peek under Rick Rube, was not able to get there in time, so Pope still holding on to that 8th and final transfer spot.
Looking underneath Rick Rube, looking to get to the back bumper, can't get there so far. Aaron Johnson needs the help. He needs Daniel Pope to make a move on Rick Rube to see if he can try to get underneath him as well. I'm not sure Aaron's going to poke his nose underneath the 31.
Yeah, I think Pope is going to be content to ride around, not get himself any trouble here. He just has 2 more laps to make it around. But Aaron Johnson, he needs to start putting the pressure on that 31 car, and he's starting to fall off just a bit.
Now Aaron Johnson up the racetrack. I think he was looking to do the over-under on Pope. Now we get the white flag from Barney. One more time around for Peyton Howell.
Peyton Howell out front. We're going to watch this 8th and final transfer spot. Daniel Pope still has it. Aaron Johnson, he is just too far back to make anything work. Peyton Howell going to win the B main. He moves on. He's going to take Jordan Harnish, Kelsey Rogers, Corey Bigley, Craig Tolley, Blaze Brinkley, Rick Rube, and Daniel Pope to the A main.
Willie Howes, Aaron Johnson, Caden Fisher, Elliott Carlson, and the rest of those guys jumped right to the next session, but the rest of them will go home.
Yeah, and that means Aaron Johnson, Willie Howes, Caden Fisher, Elliott Carlson, Dale Mears, Zach Onen, and Peter Fisher are going to be the drivers not making it to tonight's feature event. Brooklyn in the chat cheering for Peyton Howell, who just picked up a B main win. He will start 19th in tonight's A main. And Bill, the invert was not friendly once again. For such a small track, that was a large invert. It will be 8 tonight.
You know, random.org sometimes doesn't seem like it's so random. I feel like too often when I load that up, it comes up with, you know, it's supposed to be like rolling the dice, right? I feel like sometimes it just feels too often like, oh, that's the same number I just had, which actually that was the invert for this series last week.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, when we do the penalties, I run them through a list on random.org to figure out which driver is going to get the EOL first, so that it's a random order that they line up in the back. Last week, the order I inserted the list into was the exact same order it spit out at me. And I kind of thought, that's weird. What are the odds of that?
Not very random. It seems kind of strange. Well, if you want to go down the points really quick, Jeff, we can take a look at the point standings here in this series so everybody knows what we're setting up for tonight.
Yeah, as we mentioned, Alex McCollum not here, so that's an opportunity. The 5th place driver not here. Those drivers fighting for those 8 playoff spots. Cole Cabry out front. He's got a nice 18-point lead over Josh Cottle. He is comfortably into the playoffs right now. Parker Traves, Thomas Axum, and as we said, Alex McCollum not here. Daniel Pope just earned his way into the A main. So, you know, he was at risk of having a bad night as well, and he was able to race his way in. Grayson Ward, Bo Ledbetter, they are in the feature event, and you got a guy like Dylan Bates, who's going to be very, very fast here tonight, that needs a good run. And Bates has not had a great run in a while.
Well, I mean, by Bates' standards, he has. I feel terrible saying that, but by Bates' standards, he hasn't had a great run in a while. Yeah,
and that's what I mean by that is, it's not the typical Dylan Bates season where he's competing for wins every week. He's just been a little bit off and had some really bad luck. He's been caught up in a lot of things that just weren't really of his doing tonight or this season. Well, here we go. We are getting set for the Canadian Legend Cars West 150 tonight. 8 invert is going to send Dustin Monburquette to the 8th spot. And on the pole, the number 32 machine. This is only the second race that we're going to see this guy in the late model shootout series starting from the pole tonight. That is Trevor Edwards. On the outside of him, one of those guys that is trying to hold on to a playoff spot. It's the number 78. That's Bo Ledbetter.
Starting in the 3rd position in the number 13 is the 2-time defending series champion. It is Thomas Axum, and to his outside, a good qualifying effort for this gentleman. He's been picking up a lot of speed in the last few weeks in the 15 car. It's Matthew Barkhouse.
Starting 5th tonight in that number 91 car. He is a former winner of this race at this track. It is Dylan Bates. On the outside of him, the guy sits 2nd in points. So the number 13, that's Josh Cottle.
Starting in the 7th position in the number 9, second quick qualifier on the evening, it's Grayson Ward. And to his outside, the International Short Track Racing Association Quick Time Award winner, that's 16 car Justin Monburquette.
Starting 9th tonight will be the 54. That is Cole Cabry. On the outside of him, and the number 67, it's Eric Tracy.
Starting in the 11th position in the 7 machine, it is Jackson Lewis. And to his outside, in the number 83, one of the call-ups from the Late Model Challenger Series, that's Chris Roma.
Starting 13th tonight will be the 33, Brett Suggs. On the outside of him, making his return to the Shootout Series. We haven't seen him in a few weeks. The number 5, it's Magnum Tate.
Starting in the 15th position in the number 17 machine, it is AJ Rogers. And to his outside, he's won 2 races in a row. He's got some work cut out for him. In the number 60, it's Parker Traves.
Starting 17th, another driver moving up from the Challenger Series this season, the 55, Josh Parrish. On the outside of him, the number 65 machine, it's Aaron Abendroth.
Starting in the 19th spot, we just watched him win the B main event in the 52 car. It's Peyton Howell. And to his outside of the number 22, former Late Model Challenger Series champion, Jordan Harnish.
Starting 21st in the number 34 machine, it's Kelsey Rogers. On the outside of him, the number 28, it's Corey Bigley.
Starting 23rd, another late model Challenger Series call-up. It's the 50 car of Craig Tully into his outside. In the number 11, it's Blaze Brinkley.
And starting on the back row, these are your final transfers from tonight's B main. The number 81, the ravishing one, Rick Rube. And on the outside of him, in the number 31, it is Daniel Pope II. Well, Bill, 26 drivers strong here, set to go. Irwindale enter the third mile. We had to narrow it down from 33 drivers trying to race their way in, and keeping an eye on the pace car here to see if he's going to duck off or we're going to go one more lap. Looks like we're going to go another lap around, so that's going to give us some time to make some picks.
Oh, I hate the picks. Oh, so difficult. All right, let's take a look very quickly. I'm not going to go in the front row, Jeff. I'm going to go with Thomas Axum, number 13.
Well, that is a good pick, and a former winner of this race at this track. And I'm going to go with the other former winner, the guy behind him, the 91. I'm going with Dylan Bates today.
It had to be, right? Those are the two best guys we've seen run at Irwindale. Dylan Bates, a fantastic pick. I think I said I was going to pick him weeks ago, but with Axum starting in front of him, I think it's going to be very difficult for anybody to get by that 13. And we can't pick the front row, so it's going to be really fun to see them try to work by Trevor Edwards, and hopefully Bo Ledbetter can find his way in line.
Yeah, and, track position is going to be key at this racetrack. But, we've seen a lot of passing here in the past, too. It's easy to get up off the bottom and give up the bottom. It's more difficult with these type of drivers because they're just all so good. They don't generally miss their marks too much. So Trevor Edwards has an advantage here, but the guys behind him, they're pretty darn good themselves. We go green flag racing for the Canadian Legend Cars West 150 off into turn 1. Now down the back straightaway, Trevor Edwards out front, Bo Ledbetter. Thomas Axum is fighting with Matt Barkhouse for that third spot.
Side by side throughout the middle of the field. First battle on the racetrack is that Thomas Axum, Matthew Barkhouse. Barkhouse slides the car into turn number 1, trying to make it happen on the top. Tight racing with Dylan Bates as they head down the back straightaway.
Bo Ledbetter was sideways as well down into turn 1. Some drivers kind of getting in there really aggressive, finding the limits early on in this one. And Dylan Bates now fighting with that Barkhouse. Barkhouse trying to maintain on the outside, really just hoping for an early caution, maybe put him into that 5th starting spot back on the inside line, but not looking good right now for Barkhouse as he is fading.
That's all you can do is try to find your way back in the line a little bit farther back. We got some more cars battling. There's Josh Cottle is on the outside there as he battles with Grayson Ward and Cole Cavery. Then behind them, you've got Chris Roma. He's in a battle right now. Looks like he's in a battle. Which car's on the outside there? It's Eric Tracy in the 67.
Here comes the 5 of Magnum Tate up the inside of the 17 of AJ Rogers. He's going to try to take that spot away. That was a big dive down into turn 3, but he had some good momentum going, and that's going to move AJ up the racetrack, open up the door for maybe Parker Traves to come here on the inside as well. And last week's winner, two weeks now winner, trying to move forward in this race.
Parker Traves trying to make things happen in the 60. Didn't have a very good qualifying effort for him, because he's been a winner 2 weeks in a row, like you said, Jeff. Here's Magnum taking a look underneath Eric Tracy now as Chris Roma's trying to clear Tracy. Jeff, the outside doing a whole lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah, Matt Barkhouse had finally got himself in line behind Grayson Ward. Then just as he did it, Cole Cavery drives underneath him coming off turn 4. Now Barkhouse stuck back on the outside again. He just cannot find his way to the bottom. As now here comes the 7 of Jackson Lewis. Barkhouse has fallen all the way down into the 7th position.
It is tough to battle on the outside. Such a short racetrack, and these guys dipping their left side tires onto the apron as they get around this track. Can't go too far. If you get too low, you'll get a penalty from iRacing. Now Josh Cottle going to look to the inside of Barkhouse. Barkhouse just cannot find the bottom.
Yeah, and that's the struggle with running the outside too, is you kind of help rotate the car in the center of the corner by dipping it onto the apron. When you're on the outside, you can't do that, and it just tightens up the car even more in the center off. So it makes it even more difficult to run this track when you're running on the outside of the whole field, basically, like Barkhouse is doing. I mean, they're just lined up trying to pass him. You see Dustin Marquette, our quick qualifier, he just takes over the 9th position from Matt Barkhouse. Here comes Brett Suggs. He's now to the inside of that 15 machine. And Barkhouse just can't catch a break because we got a battle going on for 2nd right now.
Bo Ledbetter trying to make moves. Actually, it's Thomas Axum that makes the move on Bo Ledbetter.
And Bo gave him a shot. I suspect there might have been a little contact there because Bo definitely let him have it back going into turn 3. Not enough to phase Thomas Axum, but I think that was a little bit of a, hey, that wasn't necessary kind of move.
Right behind Ledbetter is the 91 of Dylan Bates. You talked about how good he is here at Irwindale, Jeff, up in the 4th position currently in that 91 car.
Cole Cavery putting some pressure on Grayson Ward as well. Grayson currently running in the 5th spot. He has moved his way forward early on as the caution is going to wave. And I see Jordan Harnish spun backwards on the back straightaway. So first caution on lap 15. And Harnish goes around, brings out our first yellow.
Doesn't look like any damage on the 22 car. We'll take a look and see what happened to Jordan.
Yeah, and it looked like just a checkup coming down the back straightaway. I think Corey Bigley got a little loose. Jordan had to check up for him. He actually ran to the back of Corey. And when he checked up, nobody else behind him was able to react in time.
Yeah, that was darn near impossible to react in time to that one. Corey just checks up there in front. And they kind of had a gap to Corey as well. Take a look at this. They go down through turns 1 and 2. You can see Corey sideways. And then Harnish was on the gas and then checked up. It looks like Daniel Pope gets into the back of him. Let's see what we can see from Daniel Pope's in-car camera.
And it's just not something you expect. Once you get through the center off of the corner and you're on the throttle, you don't expect the cars in front of you to have to check up. And it doesn't give you a lot of time to react, and you're going to see it with that onboard there as Daniel just really can't even see Corey Bigley.
See him, yeah. I think that was the biggest takeaway from that replay is that we've talked about it in previous weeks that you cannot see through these cars, that you don't have any clue what's happening in front of the car in front of you, and that was another good, really good illustration of that, is you could not see through the 22 of Jordan Harnish to see that 28 of Corey Bigley having an issue. So as soon as Harnish checked up, there was just no way for Daniel Pope to react.
Well, shout out to Caleb Hall in the chat, said he forgot to show up again. Caleb, we can't wait to see you in the series. You gotta make it one of these nights. Misty in the chat cheering for Grayson, who's currently running in the 5th position. Grayson started 7th, already picked up a couple spots tonight. Some of the other big movers, Jackson Lewis, he started 11th. He is up to 7th. Brett Suggs started 13th, up to 10th. Looking further back in the field, I see Kelsey Rogers started 21st. He's up to 17th. Daniel Pope started 26th. He is up to the 21st spot. As we are double filed, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. It's going to be a restart on lap 21. Bo Ledbetter had some issues on that restart. That's going to open up the door for Dylan Bates to drop right into the 3rd spot. Cole Cavery now on the outside. He is kind of stuck up there as Grayson Ward now on the inside behind the 78 of Bo Ledbetter.
Cole Cavery almost cleared Grayson Ward down the front straight. Wasn't able to do so. They're going to be side by side through turns 1 and 2 right behind them. Get Jackson Lewis and Josh Cottle. They're side by side. We'll see if Cole Cavery can do anything as he's right on the door of Grayson Ward.
And the caution going to wave here on lap 22 as I see Corey Bigley having some issues. Matt Barkhouse might have also had some issues. I think it might have started with Barkhouse running in the 13th position.
And he's had a tough night just getting to the bottom in that number 15 car. Great qualifying effort for him. But there's a big jam up I can see just by getting ready to look at the replay. We'll show everybody else the replay now.
Yeah, and it looked like the 55 and Josh Parrish made some contact with Barkhouse, and then Barkhouse spins, tries to lock that car up, and it comes back up the track, makes some contact with the 65 of Aaron Avengeroth.
On second thought, Jeff, that might be a C-car don't hit car situation.
Yeah, it looked like Josh just kind of rolled the corner a little bit too much. And you can see him whoa up, and then it's like center of the corner, he picked up the throttle just a little too early, or let that car roll just a little too much, and just kind of tagged the back of the 15 and spins around Barkhouse.
I think Barkhouse has actually parked the 15 car for the night.
Yeah, Barkhouse not having a fun season right now in the late model shootout series. He has had some bad luck as well, and that's just another one. He started up in the top 5 tonight, and it was just downhill from the drop of the green flag. He just never could get down into line. He started 4th tonight, probably the worst spot to start at this track.
Well, I mean, I'd rather start 4th than 18th, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Just you don't want to be on the outside.
So under caution here on lap number 26, Trevor Edwards still your leader, Thomas Axum, Dylan Bates, Bo Ledbetter, Grayson Ward, Cole Cabry, Josh Cottle, Jackson Lewis, Dustin Marquette, and Brett Suggs, your top 10. Sitting 11th, Magnum Tate. He's followed by Chris Roma, Parker Traves, Peyton Howe, Kelsey Rogers, Eric Tracy, Craig Tolley, Daniel Pope, and Corey Bigley.
Lights are out on the pace car, Jeff. We are doubling them up. Thomas Axum, not where you want to be starting right now in that 13 car, as he's got Dylan Bates on the row behind him on the inside. Let's see if Axum can find his way in the line.
Pace car going to head off the racetrack now. Trevor Edwards on the loud pedal. He takes off. Axum got a great restart. He is right there with the 32. Going to try that over-under off turn 2. Trevor Edwards not going to give him anything to look at. So Axum going to fall into line in the 2nd spot. Dylan Bates 3rd. Grayson Ward now moving up to 4th as Ledbetter is going to go around. Cole Camry in this one. Now Parker Traves involved as well.
Well, I watched that one. Actually, we all watched that one happen. Kudos to your camera crew. As we watched that happen, as it was basically a 3-wide situation down into turn number 3. And, well, that's not going to work here. Let's see if we can take a look and see. So you can pick him up as they head down the back straightaway. And this Cabry just kind of putting his car in a spot. I'm not sure that was gonna work.
Yeah, Bo moved up the racetrack, but you gotta expect he's gonna be coming back down the racetrack at some point.
See if we can get a decent shot of that one. Here we go. We'll take the blimp view.
And I think there might have been some contact earlier with the 9 and the 78. The 78 got up the racetrack into 3. I don't think anything really, I guess, not to do with the contact, but just kind of overdrove the corner, got way up the racetrack, and Cole, I guess he thought he was going to take it 3 wide. I don't know if I'd do that at this racetrack.
Yeah, I feel like Ledbetter was just kind of arcing the corner there. Pretty far. I mean, that is pretty far.
I just don't think there's the room there to try to make that 3 wide.
I agree. I'm not sure that that's a really. I don't know if he thought Ledbetter was just going to stay up there in the 3rd lane. I don't think that would be a normal thing to do.
And I think Bo might have been a little psyched out. I think there was a little contact between Grayson Ward and Bo, and it might have been a little net code through 1 and 2. And I think that might have just got Bo up the racetrack. Maybe he was thinking about it a little too much, that didn't want to pinch as hard that time by, and then just kind of missed his marks a bit. So, Bo got up the racetrack, but he wasn't that far up the racetrack that you could throw another car in there.
Yeah, like he's given up type thing. Like where
Yeah.
he's just so far to the outside, he's done with.
Well, here we go. Back to Green Flag Racing. Trevor Edwards out front. Thomas Axum for a single file restart. They did not complete a lap, and that's going to allow the field to kind of spread out around this 1/3 mile.
It's going to be a huge spread out around the 1/3 mile. They're basically covering 2/3 of it at this point.
Yeah, I think Trevor Edwards is going to be seeing the back end of the field pretty quickly here, as the top 4 cars have kind of broke away, and you can see Axum really starting to put the pressure on that 32 of Trevor Edwards right now.
Really trying to find a way around the 32, not get into the back bumper, but now he's going to look to the inside, but Edwards going to close the door, slides the car through 1 and 2, trying to keep up the momentum, but Axum going to be right there again and can't get to the back bumper. Edwards are clear to 3 and 4, might have gotten a shot that time.
Yeah, he gave the 32 a shot. He backed off of it, though. He had a chance to jump all over Trevor Edwards. He didn't do it, and now Dylan Bates is going to jump all over Thomas Axum. He gave him a shot into turn 1.
I think that confused the 91 of Dylan Bates as Thomas Axum decided to play nice after he gave a bump to Edwards through 3 and 4. But Bates thought we're going to go the same speed, and they weren't, so he ended up giving a shot to Axum.
And Grayson Ward is right behind all of this, just waiting for somebody to make a mistake so he can capitalize as well. Currently running fourth, and he's starting to leave Josh Cottle, who's running in that fifth spot. You can see Cottle and Dustin Marquette up to sixth now. Your quick qualifier had to restart or start eighth tonight after the invert. He is up to the sixth spot.
Trevor Edwards had kind of taken an odd line around this racetrack for a few laps there. Now he's kind of figured it out again. He's got back to the bottom. He's going to make Axum try to give him the bumper. And you see there, Axum all the way on the bottom, putting the left side tires on the apron. Edwards up just a little bit.
The front four cars just nose to tail. Nobody giving an inch right now. They are right there ready to pounce if anybody makes a mistake. And you can see it again. Just a little contact through 1 and 2 is, I mean, they are really right on each other's bumpers.
Axum really using that apron through the center of the corner. Not able to gain anything down the straightaways. He's right there on the bumper of Trevor Edwards.
Edwards still out front, maybe holding up the pace just a little bit because I see Cottle starting to make gains now on Grayson Ward, and it looks like he's bringing Dustin Marquette with him. So we're about to have a 6-car train for the race lead.
Jumping inside, Dylan Bates here running third. You can see that battle for the lead happening right in front of him. Not on the throttle very long on this racetrack. Just waiting for that car to roll through the center of the corner.
And Jackson Lewis has just got underneath Magnum Tate. This is a battle for 7th on the racetrack as Jackson now has the inside position. Behind him, he's bringing Parker Traves. Parker Traves started deep. He started 16th tonight. He is up to the 9th spot. Magnum Tate, he started 14th, was currently running in the 8th spot, but he is under fire right now as here comes Parker Traves in the 60. Caution waves.
The issue with Kelsey Rogers. He is around on the back straightaway.
Kelsey going to flip that car around and rejoin, and looks like might have had a multi-car incident here coming off turn 2. Similar deal, just a stack up, and Kelsey got turned around.
Yeah, it looks like Kelsey got into the 83 of Chris Roma entering the corner. Let's see if we can get a good shot of that one. Gives a shot to get into the corner. Center, he gets into Chris Roma. Gets into him again, then finally Peyton Howell after. That was just kind of like bumper cars there through the middle of the corner.
Well, and Peyton also got a shot from behind as well. The 50 of Craig Tolley, not seeing any of this going on. He got into the back of the 52, got him down on the apron, and just kind of a mess there.
Just bump after bump after bump, and nobody was really lifting. I think that was just kind of a racing deal there. Kind of started with the 34 and Kelsey Rogers getting to the back of the 83.
Well, we are under caution here on lap 49. Looking at the running order, Trevor Edwards, Thomas Axum, Dylan Bates, Grayson Ward, Josh Cottle, your top 5. Dustin Marquette up to 6. Jackson Lewis, Magnum Tate, Parker Traves, Brett Suggs, your top 10. Chris Roma running 11th, Peyton Howell, Craig Tolley, Daniel Pope, Eric Tracy, your top 15. Corey Bigley, AJ Rogers, Blaze Brinkley, Aaron Amandroth, and Josh Parrish round out your top 20. We have only lost one car. That is Matt Barkhouse. So he's going to finish 26th tonight. Right now, Kelsey Rogers going to rejoin still on the lead lap in the 25th spot. So field is doubled up. It'll be Trevor Edwards, Thomas Axum on that front row, Dylan Bates, Grayson Ward in the second row, Josh Cottle, Dustin Marquette in the third row. Green flag is back out. Trevor Edwards back to the lead. Thomas Axum going to try to get back in front of Dylan Bates. The door almost closed on Axum. He's there. Now Grayson Ward and Dylan Bates got some contact coming off turn 2. Everybody going to continue on, but here comes Josh Cottle in the 13.
Cottle the inside of Grayson Ward. They'll battle down the front straightaway. Cottle's in that preferred line. Grayson Ward going to try to battle back on the outside. Tough to do. You can see Jackson Lewis would capitalize on this. And Marquette way up the racetrack in the 16.
Yeah, Monberquette watching this battle in front of him. There's just nowhere to go. He's trying to keep the momentum up, but he's taking a long way around the track there, as you can see him way off the racetrack down the straightaways.
That's an interesting thing.
Dylan Bates to the outside as Thomas Axum makes contact with Trevor Edwards. Bates going for the lead on the outside line.
I don't know if that's even possible, Jeff, but we're going to watch them battle side by side down into turns 3 and 4. You see Dylan Bates losing ground just a little bit in the 91 machine as he's not able to keep up the momentum. It's so difficult to run around the outside here.
Yeah, just not a lot of banking to lean on, and again, the track kind of falls off at the top on the straightaway, so it's really the long way around, and it's difficult to keep any speed up there on the outside as Thomas Axum starting to regain now on the inside of Dylan Bates. It was a nice attempt from Dylan Bates. Axum got into Trevor Edwards. Bates almost made it work. Maybe just a little bit more contact, and he would have been the race leader.
Oh, and Bates almost had a larger problem. That problem was green. Looks like Josh Cottle cut him a bit of a break in the 13 cars. He was almost there to shut the door on Bates, but Bates able to fall back into third.
Curtis hanging out in the Facebook chat, cheering for Trevor Edwards, who's out front. He's led every lap of this one from the green flag. Currently lap 59 of this 150 lapper, but he is feeling the pressure. Thomas Axum has been all over this 32 car for quite a while, just cannot find a way around. Trevor doing everything he needs to do, keep that car on the inside line and make Axum make a move around the outside. Is again peaked there off turn 2. Axum getting great runs off the corner and just can't make it work yet.
Axum trying to make things happen at 13. Man, he is good around this racetrack. And wow, did he get close to Trevor Edwards' bumper. And he's going to slip off of turn 2. Dylan Bates not able to capitalize.
Caution going to wave for an incident on the back straightaway. I see Eric Tracy around. Aaron Abendroth also involved. And that'll bring out the yellow on lap 61.
It looks like it was an incident that started between Blaze Brinkley and Eric Tracy. And that caught Cole Cabry as well, as there were cars stacking up onto the back straightaway. But I think the initial contact was between Tracy and Brinkley going down into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think Brinkley just a little too much rear brake. You can see that car under braking step out on him. Once he got into a slide, it came up off the bottom, and Eric Tracy just kind of the victim there in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Say Brinkley just walks up the racetrack just a little bit, but it's enough. I mean, on the top side, you're basically holding the guy in the bottom down. You kind of have to. You can see Brinkley just gets up off the bottom about a half a car length. And there it is. You can see it. The cars in front of him are a little lower. You see where Daniel Pope is. There's a car out there, and Brinkley gets into the left rear. And then, unfortunately, Eric Tracy, not much he can do. You can see Cole Cabry involved. Jordan Harnish has to stop. Corey Bigley picked up some contact on that one as well.
Reagan in the chat cheering for Jackson Lewis, the number 7 car. He is currently running in the 5th position. Jackson got a little damage on the nose. I don't think it's going to affect him much here. This is a little those racetracks. Yeah,
looked like he ran into a telephone pole. I don't know what you run into to get that kind of damage. It doesn't seem to be affecting him, Jeff. I think that's what you mean, but that looks like a lot of damage on the 7 car.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right on this type of racetrack. You don't necessarily need too much aero dependency here, but the number 7 definitely showing some battle scars early on.
Short track racing. And as we say that, there are a lot of beautifully clean cars out there on lap 66.
Yeah, for the most part, everybody's been pretty friendly. I mean, all the accidents
knock on wood,
so far.
Jeff. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Obviously, we're still only 66 laps into this 150 lapper. Check in around lap 125 and see how friendly they're being. The pace car going to head off the racetrack. Trevor Edwards, Thomas Axum on that front row once again. Edwards, a great restart. That's going to allow Axum to go for second, but contact with Bates.
They tried to squeeze into a hole that wasn't there, but Axum able to clear Bates. Here comes Cottle to the outside, and now Jackson Lewis a little bit sideways. Everybody's going to scramble. We'll go yellow again.
Josh Parrish around. So is Rick Rube off turn 2. And I think it started with Parrish and Bo Ledbetter off into turn 1.
They were side by side in turn 1. Oh, I think we got some net code there, Jeff.
Yeah, it looked like Bo got up the racetrack a bit.
But not enough to make contact, I think, if we look at it from above. Take a look at the Elite Performance Industries chopper cam. I just don't think that's just a slam sideways. I think you remember that here at Irwindale, Jeff.
Yeah, similar incident on the big track that we
right.
had.
Yeah. I think you could see that car just hops really hard and there's no real contact there. Ugh, a lot of cars get tangled in that one, though.
Yeah, Rick Rube involved. I saw it looked like Avendroth and the 11 of Brinkley might have taken a little damage there trying to get through that one.
Corey Bigley does a nice job to avoid. Brinkley got some. I think Avendroth might have gotten very lucky. Rick Rube around as well.
So under caution here, lap 70. This is going to set us up for a single file restart. They did not complete a lap that time.
And single file wraps us around the entire track, Jeff. This field, of course, is huge. We could have run more cars, Jeff. We had how many cars here tonight? 33?
33, and that would have been insanity. A single file restart with 30 cars probably would have wrapped all the way around.
Take a look at Eric Tracy out there on the pit lane. Something going on with his machine in the 67.
Yeah, not a lot of time here to repair damage. No. So these guys are going to hit the pits, but we're getting set to go green flag racing as Trevor Edwards, single file restart, going to take him all the way up the racetrack. He is off and away, and these guys are trying to get back on the racetrack right now. So Trevor Edwards out front, Thomas Axum running second, Dylan Bates third, Josh Cottle fourth, Parker Traves now up into the fifth spot.
Wow, Parker Traves on a mission right now in the 60, trying to make it 3 in a row. He started 16th up to 5th. AJ Rogers up the track right now. Cole Cabry's going to make the move in the 54, put Cabry up into the 15th spot.
And mostly single file till you get back to where Peyton Howell is with Chris Roma. Roma on the outside of the 83 machine, Peyton Howell in the 52. He is trying to move forward. That is for the 11th position. Here comes Daniel Pope, who started deep in this field tonight. He is trying to work his way forward as Roma stuck on the outside now.
Craig Tully going to make the move on the 83 machine. Those are teammates right there, the 50 and the 83. Tully telling his buddy, sorry, man, I know you're stuck on the outside, but time for me to go by you.
Yeah, and he's going to bring along Cole Cabry, so the bleeding never ends here as Chris Roma just cannot find a way in line. Now he almost had a spot, and AJ Rogers shoves the nose in there, and he's going to try to keep that 83 to the outside.
Yeah, you just want to keep, so close to 3 and 4. They almost made contact. Now Roma going to go a little bit farther up the track. That's going to give AJ Rogers the opportunity to make that pass.
Up front, Thomas Axum trying to put the pressure on Trevor Edwards. Took a dive down into turn 1, was not able to get there in time. And, man, it is heating up front because it is about 10 cars just piled under a blanket right now, nose to tail. And if you're the guy who gets stuck on the outside, you're probably going to the end of this tail.
Edwards up the track just a little bit in the 32. Axum tried to look underneath him, couldn't do anything with the run. You can see Edwards still running a little bit higher than Axum. And now Axum going to peek to the inside going down to turn 1. They'll make contact. Edwards up the racetrack. Bates up the racetrack as well. We'll go yellow. Wow. What just happened?
There was a incident further behind that triggered the yellow. That was Chris Roma that went around in the middle of 3 and 4 right as that contact with Trevor Edwards was happening. And that might have saved Trevor Edwards and Thomas Axum there because that was not looking good.
Edwards had saved it, but I think it saved Dylan Bates. Dylan Bates had contact, I believe, with Josh Cottle as Bates checked up. But that was about to get really crazy. Here's your contact back here. Let's see what happens to Chris Roma as they head down the back straightaway.
And him and Kelsey Rogers got together, going down in a turn 3. And I think the 83 maybe just tried to squeeze the 34 just a bit too much there.
It's an interesting dive. I mean, he wasn't there down the back straightaway. Roma just takes like, well, I guess Roma can never really ever pull down. I think you're probably right on that one, Jeff.
Yeah, I think Chris, I mean, he was trying to
good
squeeze.
Save, though.
Yeah, he made the save. Unfortunately, it did bring out the yellow, but he was trying to get down on line for quite a while, and I think he almost thought he was clear, and by the time he got down to the corner, he just wasn't clear anymore. And he gave room. He gave Kelsey room. It just wasn't quite enough for the 34 car to get through there.
That's a good looking car. I like that 83.
It is a very nice car.
And he is one of the cleanest drivers on this tour. Actually, on the Late Model Challenger Series, and now also in the Late Model Shootout Series. We talked about it. He was one of 4 drivers last week that had 0 incidents, and he finished in the middle of the pack in 17th. That's crazy. To have everybody else around you with incidents, and you go clean.
And that's the reason Chris and Craig Tolley, those two, they got the invites up into the Monday Night Series, because it's not necessarily about winning races. Neither of them had won a Challenger Series race. It's not about who can win the most races. It's about who can race respectfully and make the competition fun here on Monday nights. And we'd rather have good, clean racing than a bunch of guys that try to run each other over for the win, and you're seeing it tonight. I mean, it's been fantastic racing up front. Even when Thomas Axum has made contact with Trevor Edwards, he backs off, lets Edwards gather it up before they go back to racing.
Well, we were about to see something happen up there, Jeff, and sorry, Chris Roma, you stole it from us. I was kidding.
Well, we are back to green flag racing as Trevor Edwards back out front. Axum trying to get in line. He gets a tap from Dylan Bates.
Oh!
We've got trouble. Bates is going around. Dylan Bates goes around. I see Magnum Tate and Daniel Pope around on the back straightaway.
They're crashing in the outside wall. I don't know what happened to them. But we can go back quickly and find out what happened in the 91. That was just a huge stack up. And it really starts with Thomas Axum driving to the bottom, trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack. It stacks the entire bottom lineup. Here we go, down the front straightaway. See Bates gets into the back of the Axum. Then here comes Parker Traves to the inside. Momberg gets it, but oh my goodness, Daniel Pope went head on into the outside wall.
Yeah, you know, to me, I thought that Axum might have cut it a little close on Dylan Bates. When I go back to look at it, I don't think
he's got a pretty good gap there.
Yeah, he was clear. It almost looked like Bates kind of just ran into the back of Axum and then ended up way up the racetrack, and that opened up, you know, just piled everybody else up because Bates is kind of in no man's land in the middle of the racetrack. He made contact with Josh Cottle. Parker Traves gets involved.
Watch what happens to Daniel Pope here. He's just kind of, he and Magnum Tate kind of, not much they can do. Oh my goodness. And Pope collects 2 walls. And then Magnum Tate. Yeah, I really don't think, I think you're right. I think Bates, if he had lifted maybe just a tick earlier, he probably didn't like the fact that Axum found his way underneath or to the bottom there. Should restart one more time. And just absolutely mayhem ensues. Hayden Howe, nice job getting on the binders, getting underneath that wreck. Bates spins the car back around. Big wreck behind him. But yeah, probably frustration. You see Momberg head. He ended up around, and that's what caught out Magnum Tate and Daniel Pope as he tried to avoid that incident. But you see big damage on 16.
Well, we are going back green flag racing. Thomas Axum out in front of Trevor Edwards. And Axum now your new leader on lap 94.
Where did that happen?
Yeah, he was actually right ahead of Trevor Edwards winning the caution wave, so they put him back out front scoring, gave Thomas Axum, he was the leader at the time of the caution, so he is your new race leader on lap 95 of this one. Axum out front, Trevor Edwards second, Josh Cottle third, Parker Traves fourth, Jackson Lewis running in the fifth spot. Here comes Brett Suggs, who's been kind of quiet tonight, running sixth. He is kind of come out of nowhere.
See if we got any battles on the racetrack, Jeff. First one I think we see Peyton Howe going to get passed by Cole Cabrey. What happened to Peyton Howe? That's he had some speed in the B main. Cabrey to go by with that damage number 54. Craig Tully all over the back of Peyton Howe. Everybody else single file on the racetrack. Peyton Howe makes a mistake through 3 and 4. Just kind of gets in Tully's way there.
Cole Cabrey running in that 9th spot in the 54 machine. Now Peyton off the pace there down the back straightaway, totally to the outside.
Something going on there. That was a little weird. Cabrey was really off the pace. Tully went to the outside of Peyton Howe not to wreck it, basically.
I almost wonder, because we know you can get those cutting course penalties here,
Oh.
if Cole maybe had to back up because he had a time penalty.
God.
And that might have been what just happened there. And that's, I mean, really put Peyton Howe in a bad position. And now Craig Tully jumped to the outside.
A worse position.
We are on lap 101 now, 49 laps to go in this one. Thomas Axum still out front. Trevor Edwards running in the 2nd spot. And tell you what, Thomas is not getting away from Trevor Edwards. And remember all that pressure and the bumps that Thomas Axum was given the 32?
I do.
Well, yeah, it could come the other way now. Because, and Josh Parrish around off turn 4.
Josh Parrish going to bring out the yellow. So he just got himself turned around and before the leaders got there.
And they were 3 wide again going into turn 3. And that's what triggered that caution is Magnum Tate, Aaron Amandroth, and Josh Parrish got together.
Somebody tell them that's not going to work.
The 3 wide here is ambitious.
That's not going to work. Tuesday night, guys. Don't do this. Oh. I'm sorry. I can only laugh at that.
Magnum sent her off in
he sure did. Well, I mean, he kind of just followed Rome. Wow.
Yeah, Josh and Aaron had gotten together off turn 2. They were off the pace down the back straightaway. I think Magnum saw an opportunity to pick up 2 for 1 there. And he sent her off into the corner pretty hard.
What is that guy that drives that lawnmower and lands on all the refrigerators?
I have
just
no
gonna
idea.
Send it. Isn't that what he does? That was Magnum that time. Just gonna send her, boys. And unfortunately, Aaron and Josh were out there. That wasn't gonna stick. At least I don't think it was. I mean, all evidence shows it didn't stick.
Well,
he hit 3 cars at one time.
Looking at the scoring, we have lost Eric Tracy from this race. Rick Rube is back on track. He is 32 laps down. Daniel Pope is out of this race, and he came into tonight 6th in points. He is on the bubble.
Pope absolutely smashed walls in that wreck. That big wreck we had just a little bit ago with Dylan Bates up there up front. Pope got kind of right rear hooked and ended up going head on into the outside retaining wall of the small track, and the car kept up its momentum and hit the outside wall of the large track as well. That's rough.
Well, pace car lights are still on, so we're going to go one more lap around as they got double file here. Magnum Tate had to go to the rear of the field. So just getting everybody back in order. Josh Parrish is currently 1 lap down in the 22nd position.
Barney going to give them the 1 to go signal. They'll take the green flag as they hit the stripe next time. 42 laps remaining in this race. They'll go quick if they stay green.
Yeah, what are the chances that this thing goes green to the end?
Hey, you never know.
We go back green flag racing. Thomas Axum, Trevor Edwards. Edwards did not get a great restart, but neither did Josh Cottle. That's going to open up the door for the 32 to drive back to the bottom. He's going to take a shot, and Thomas Axum not going to be able to get there. Josh Cottle now trying to take third from Parker Traves on this restart. Traves on the outside.
And Traves is in that spot you don't want to be in. We call it the sucker hole here in the zone racing. He is on the outside. This is not where he wants to be on this racetrack because it is not the fast way ride. Here comes Jackson Lewis to the inside. As you can see, Traves slowly losing momentum in that 60 car.
Behind them, you see Grayson Ward getting around Brett Suggs, so he will clear Brett Suggs for the 5th spot, or actually make that the 6th position. As Jackson Lewis, he is looking for 4th as Parker Traves still stuck on the outside, cannot get to the bottom. Craziness going on further back. Dustin Marquette just got moved out of the way. Cole Camry's up the racetrack as well. And Peyton Howell up the bottom. Now I see Corey Bigley up the racetrack. I think he got a shot from Dylan Bates, who has been using the bumper coming through the field again.
Marquette able to get to the bottom. Peyton Howell's going to have a battle here with Cole Camry. Camry to the outside. Kelsey Rogers is involved in that one as well. AJ Rogers and looks like Blaze Brinkley are battling. Now here comes Jordan Harnish in the 22. The field all clumped together. Really good racing.
Brett Suggs goes around Parker Traves. Now Traves going to try to come back underneath the 33, and looks like Brett not going to give him much room down there. No, Traves going to have to back out of it. So Traves fell from 4th all the way back to 7th there on that restart.
Traves had to really jam the brakes on the 60 machine as he almost backed into Craig Tully's nose. Tully having a career best run right now in the late model shootout series.
Cole Camry. Camry going around in middle of 2. Contact from Dustin Marquette. And the 54, your points leader, is spun around.
Camry not having a night he wants to remember in that 54 car. Take a look and see what happened to him as he had issues in turns 1 and 2. Make it turn 2. I think he just got a shot from Marquette.
Yeah, Marquette gave him a good shot through 3 and 4. Got the 54 up the racetrack. And then coming down into turn 1, he just wasn't close enough to the 54 to really take a look to the inside, and he got into Cole there, spun the 54 around.
Hey Jeff, that's one of those situations. That's a see car don't hit car situation. Yeah, we should have probably come up with a better saying. That sounds kind of ridiculous. Or does it?
It sounds ridiculous, but they still do it, which... But, I mean, that's quick time tonight, and your points leader heading to the rear of the field now late into this one. So, a tough break for those two. Josh Parrish going to get a lap back. He'll be back on the lead lap in the 22nd position. Actually move him up to about 21st because of the penalty to Marquette. So if you're hanging out with us on Facebook right now, make sure you like and share the stream. Leave us a comment. We are getting down to crunch time in this one. What, about 30 laps to go here at Irwindale? Let us know, who do you think is going to win it tonight? Is it going to be Thomas Axum? Can Trevor Edwards get back by the 13? Will it be somebody like Josh Cottle or Jackson Lewis? Grayson Ward has been in the top 5 all night, just keeping his nose clean in that number 9 machine. Will he have a run at it here at the end? Brett Suggs is charging from 13th. Parker Traves, 2 weeks in a row. He's trying to make it 3 weeks in a row to win here in the late model shootout series, running 7th. You got Craig Tolley, the 19 or the 52 of Peyton Howell. He started 19th. He's up to 9th tonight. Kelsey Rogers, he started 21st. He's up to 10th. I think it's still anybody's ball game here.
Jeff, we're racing. It has nothing to do with the ball game.
Well, the pace car going to head off the racetrack. Is Thomas Axum going to take his green flag racing once again?
Ooh, Trevor Edwards slipped.
Yeah, Josh Cottle got a great restart. Now contact from the 7, and Edwards is up the racetrack. He is falling through the grid.
Yeah, Trevor Edwards gives a big shot.
And Jackson Lewis with a save.
What a save.
Wow. And he's going to come back and hit the 32 again, and
We've got dirt racing.
Make the save.
Oh,
And
this
now
is
they're
not
gonna
going to
get
go
hooked
well.
together. And I think we're going to see the caution now.
That was, and Chris Roma is the one that ends up backwards. Go figure, right? Wow.
Well, wow.
Wow. Right now, I say Trevor Edwards and Jackson Lewis go to the back. That was 3 laps in a row. We're going to watch all of them, by the way. Here we go. All right, so let's pick this one up from the very beginning. We'll give it to you from this angle so you get as good as it possibly can be. Jackson Lewis gets a shot from Brett Suggs, which puts him into Trevor Edwards. Now, Trevor Edwards thinks that was Jackson Lewis, and then that would really, it was Brett Suggs. So he hammers Jackson Lewis into turn number 3, and Jackson Lewis dirt tracks the car, does a fantastic job saving it. And now down into turn number 1, Jackson Lewis is unhappy with Trevor Edwards, so he gives him a shot as well. Now we go down the back straightaway. Trevor Edwards right rear hooks the 7. The 7 saves it, but then the car lets go, and he's going to hit other cars, which causes Chris Roma to crash.
Well, that was a good breakdown there. I enjoyed that.
Thank you. That was pretty good.
Well, as you would have it, now Jackson Lewis and Trevor Edwards will join together at the rear of the field.
I mean, if you're just going to beat on each other, we'll put a ring in the center of this.
Right?
Just go,
demo
gloves and
derby
headgear.
it right in the middle.
I was thinking more of a boxing match, Jeff. We could have, that would be fun too, right?
If we could do it.
If we could figure out how. They were supposed to bring out that game. That was that Fight Night game.
Fight Night, yeah.
That would have been fantastic. We could have broadcasted fight nights between drivers that had a score to settle.
Well, that definitely shakes up the running order. So Thomas Axum, Josh Cottle, Grayson Ward, Parker Traves, Peyton Howe, your top 5. Now, Peyton Howe has come from 19th. Your B-main winner is now running in the top 5. He's in a pretty good spot here on the inside for this restart. Bill Ledbetter has had some trouble tonight. He is back up into 6th. Jordan Harnish, who at one point was just kind of riding around in the back, he is now 7th. Brett Suggs, 8th. Magnum Tate, who's been around tonight, he's running 9th. Cole Camry back up to the top 10. As here we go, green flag racing for Thomas Axum, Josh Cottle in that front row. And time is starting to tick away. Josh Cottle got a fantastic restart.
Cottle really doing well on the outside in that 13 car. That is super hard to pass on the outside. We haven't seen anybody really accomplish that all night long, but Cottle going to sling it to the outside, see if he can find some grip. Axum off of the bottom of turn number 4. He'll start to gain the advantage.
Here comes Grayson Ward looking for the 2nd spot. Grayson's been in the top 5 all night. He's kept his nose clean, been pretty quiet, and now he's making a charge late with 20 to go.
I think Grayson Ward actually rotated the front end of his car off of the Cottle machine last time, and they didn't crash somehow. But Grayson Ward now flying in the number 9, pushing Cottle up the racetrack.
Thomas Axum's going to love to see this battle behind him as Grayson Ward just can't quite get clear. Now I think he will finally clear the 13 of Cottle. Here comes Parker Traves in the 60. He's going to take a look at the inside of the number 13 machine of Cottle.
Cottle caught on the outside, can't make anything happen. So difficult to do it on the outside. He started in the front row on this last restart. Now he's dropped back to that 3rd spot. And now he's under fire from the 60 of Traves, who's looking for 3rd.
And caution going to wave. I didn't see anything going on the racetrack.
Trying to look. Thought I saw A.J. Rogers might have lost a spot, but I don't see any cars parked anywhere.
Oh, I think it was the 50 of Craig Tolley. He got straightened out, but he was definitely sideways down the back straightaway. I think that was what triggered the caution there. Craig got together with Aaron Avendroth.
Oh, I think maybe the one was Corey Bigley. That got really sideways when Corey Bigley came through.
Yeah, Corey kind of straightened the 50 up, but at the same time, it ended up causing the caution.
It's going to be one of those situations where we take a look and see what happened to Corey Bigley. Why it kind of just ran in there. I don't really see a whole lot between Arendroth and Tully other than maybe just really tight racing. Aaron's down, got his left side tires on the yellow, maybe slips a little bit. Bigley just, I think the yellow was actually for Bigley coming in there at the end. Take a look from Bigley's view. And that's another one of those situations where you just really can't see much.
Yeah, Bigley just, he all of a sudden the seas part there. Jackson Lewis moves out of the way, and there's a car sitting in the middle of the racetrack. See Charles in the chat cheering for Grayson Ward, who's now up to the second spot. He will restart on the outside of Thomas Axum. Parker Traves up to third there. Parker, again, trying to make it 3 in a row in the late model shootout series. I can't even remember the last time somebody did that. Maybe Thomas Axum a couple seasons ago.
I mean, it doesn't even matter if he wins this race. Dude is still on fire, right? I mean, drives from 16th tonight, didn't get a very good qualifying effort for him. Drives from 16th up to 3rd in that 60 car. Now Grayson Ward stuck on the outside. We just saw Cottle struggle out there. See if Grayson Ward can do any better than 9.
Well, here we go. Time is starting to tick away. About 12 laps to go when they cross the line. Thomas Axum out front. Grayson Ward on the outside. He's going to try to get down in line. He's got a gap there with Parker Traves, but it closes early into turn 1. They're 3 wide further back. I see Blaze Brinkley, Cole Carey up the middle with Jordan Harnish. Brinkley in trouble as he is fading down. Cole Carey is up the racetrack. I see 4 wide down the front straightaway.
Holy cow. Wow, and they wrecked big going into turn number 1. They're still wrecking. Kelsey Rogers is around. Now Josh Parrish is crashing. Now Parrish will flip down the back straightaway. The 55 had a clean race car up until that point, and almost gets into Jordan Harnish as he spins back around. But let's take a look. We're going to unpack what happened going down to turn number 1.
Well, Bill, what happened in turn 1 was 4 wide.
Violence. Just massive amounts of not enough space.
Yeah, Magnum Tate there on the inside. I think Brett Suggs took a peek down the front straightaway underneath the 5, and I don't know if he didn't realize they were already 3 wide in front of him.
Oh yeah, Brett Suggs. Well, I mean, he had a massive run and then just makes contact with Magnum Tate, shows him up the racetrack. I mean, he had a massive run, had to check it.
Well, Magnum got turned sideways off turn 4, so he was off the pace, and that's what kind of led to them being 4 wide.
But at the same time, I mean, I get it. It's all happening in front of you. I mean, Suggs gave Harnish 2 shots through the corner prior to that to shove him up the racetrack. I mean, I get it. It's go time, but 4 wide? Oh, that looks like fun, doesn't it? And then everybody just crashes into turn number 1. Oof. Man. Oh, and there's the call, folks. Brett Suggs to the back in the 33. Got it in the left corner of Magnum Tate. Sent a whole bunch of cars flying. Jeff, I think the catch fence actually worked on the back straightaway for Josh Parrish.
Yeah, that was a big time wreck, and you can see the tire mark still on the racetrack there. That was a lot of cars heading up the racetrack into the wall there. So I look at the Facebook chat, I see Eric Myers in the house, and
literally in the house.
Yeah, he's in the broadcast booth.
That's right. He is here with us in the South Carolina broadcast booth. Also on Facebook.
Well, here we go. Pace car's going to head off the racetrack. Thomas Axum, Parker Traves is going to take us green flag racing. Parker got a fantastic restart. He's going to jump right behind Axum, make some contact through 1 and 2 as time is starting to tick away in this 150 lapper as we're working lap 146. Parker going to get into Axum again. Axum up the racetrack. Here comes Traves for the lead.
Wow, Parker Traves trying to make things happen as he heads down into turn number 1. Now he's got Grayson Ward to his inside. Both Ledbetter and Thomas Axum going to make contact. That's going to bring out a yellow. Yellow is out. Parker Traves is your leader. As controversially as you would want to talk about somebody grabbing the lead, I'm sure Thomas Axum is not going to like what just happened. And I'm sorry you probably had to turn down your headphones because I started yelling, but that was exciting.
Yeah, it looked like Bo Ledbetter and Magnum Tate got together, and again trying to go 3 wide into turn 1.
Parker Traves gave Thomas Axum a shot. We'll take a look at that really quickly. So we are going to go to the yellow after that, but there's the shot going down into turn number 3. Axum does a great job wheeling that number 13 machine, and now it gets a little bit crazy as that was your bump. Let's go back a little bit farther behind that so we can pick up what happened to Bo Ledbetter here. Is Magnum Tate underneath Bo Ledbetter coming off the corner. Ledbetter was caught on the outside.
Well, and I can tell you, I know Bo's not happy with that move, but I got to tell you, I think Magnum is there. Yeah.
Yeah, Bo was on the outside coming off at turn 4, and I think Bo was trying to shut the door. But I don't think he had the room to do so. Because Magnum was definitely to the inside coming through 3 and 4, and Bo never clears. And that's going to get Thomas Axum caught up in it. Oh, Corey Bigley's caught. Tully's caught. My goodness. But yeah, I think you're right, Jeff. I think Magnum has that position. You can definitely see it at the start-finish line, and I don't think Bo ever clears. Now, granted, Magnum Tate did not give him any. I'm pretty sure Magnum stayed on the throttle going down in turn number 1, although he did hit the bottom.
Well, Bill, this is going to set us up for a green-white checkered finish, and I got to tell you, there is some unhappy drivers right now in the field.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Things are not sounding good on the radio right now.
You know, sometimes we tell people being a great driver in certain situations is a bad idea. And when Parker Traves gave a shot to Thomas Axum showed how good of a wheelman he is by saving that race car. But I think it's clear to both of us, Jeff, had he spun that car out, Parker Traves would be starting in the rear. But Parker Traves is starting on the front row for this restart. Grayson Ward to his outside. Green-white checkered.
Here we go. Parker Traves out to the front on this green-white checker finish. Here comes the 13 of Josh Cottle. He is trying to get around Grayson Ward. Ward stuck on the outside. Cottle going for second.
Cottle up to second in the 13 machine. Parker Traves out front. Here might we see a bump and run. Cottle to the second spot. White flag is out.
White flag is out for Parker Traves. He's trying to make it 3 in a row. They are spinning behind him. We're going to follow this battle for the lead. It's Parker Traves out front. Josh Cottle coming with a full head of steam. Will he put the bumper to the 60? He does, but it's not enough. Parker Traves makes it 3 wins in a row in the late model shootout series.
An absolute mayhem behind them. Cars upset with other cars. You sure you don't want to do fight night, Jeff? It might be fun.
It might be necessary at this point.
Josh Cottle will come home second. Grayson Ward, he will finish third. Magnum Tate fourth. Blaze Brinkley fifth. Peyton Howell sixth. Jackson Lewis seventh. Cole Cabry eighth. AJ Rogers, he finishes ninth. And Craig Tully rounds out your top 10.
Well, it looks like Dylan Bates going to come home 11th. Corey Bigley 12th. Brett Suggs 13th. Josh Parrish 14th. Aaron Abendroth 15th. Kelsey Rogers, Trevor Edwards, Dustin Marquette, Thomas Axum, Bo Ledbetter, your top 20 tonight.
Absolutely out of hand, Jeff. Out of hand. Insanity here at the Irwindale Interspeedway. Things are ramping up as we head into the playoffs, but nothing can be hotter on the racetrack than the driver of the 60 machine.
Yeah, Parker Traves has been unbelievable lately, and I'm looking to do some research. The last time somebody won 3 in a row, Thomas Axum went 4 in a row back in November of 21. From October to November, he won 4 in a row, and that's the last time anybody's made 3 in a row in a single season.
Well, I mean, I know we're going to get an opportunity to talk to Parker, but we got to ask him, how hard did you hit the 13 car?
Yeah. Well, while we wait for Parker, maybe we can go back and get a look at that one.
Oh, we did, Jeff. We saw that already. But we can definitely go back and look to see that shot, the winning move. We need a graphic, Jeff. The winning move of the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see if we can get back to that lap to see what happened between those drivers. I know you're able to hear driver chat, Jeff. I am not.
Well, we have our race winner with us tonight, joining us in the broadcast booth. Parker Traves making it 3 in a row. And Parker, it's been a long time since anybody's made it 3 in a row. The guy who did it, Thomas Axum, the guy you kind of got into tonight to take the race lead. Can you talk us through a little bit of what happened there when you made contact with him and went by for the lead?
Yeah, I definitely made contact with him twice there to move him, and just kind of the style of racing you have to do around here. So he did the same thing to Trevor, and when he got it back, he cried.
Oh, hey, whoa, Parker, easy now. But you are still on fire, man. Is 3 in a row now. Again, I'll say it again, Parker. I don't think there's a hotter driver in the super late model than you are. How does it feel to pick up 3 in a? I mean, are you gonna lose again? Is that ever gonna happen?
Well, I think I put a target on my back for next week, but you
Very
never know what's
possibly.
going to happen.
Very
Anything can
possibly.
happen in these races, so I'm just fortunate enough to be here and win this many races.
Jeff might be doing some stuff going on.
Yeah, Parker. The drivers, a lot of people just unhappy in that race. Can you talk to us a little bit? Because it seemed like there was some doors being thrown, bumpers being thrown. What was it like? You started 16th tonight. You came through a lot of that chaos. What was it like out there? Was it pretty rough and tumble?
Yeah, it seemed like guys just lacked a bit of patience. Every time there'd be a spot for someone to get down, they would get down, and the people behind them would just drive into them for no reason. So I just patience go a long way. You don't need to hit the car because it gets in front of you.
Well, Parker, do you have well, we talk about things going on in the real world and whatnot, and I think we all kind of knew what happened tonight. We're watching the replay in slow motion, by the way, Parker. A lot of technology we have here at In the Zone Racing. But tell us some more about what's going on in real life for you. I know there's some big things happening to this race this week was the Canadian Legend Cars West. And I know you run, in that series. I think you're even the points leader there out in Canada. So why don't you tell us about some of that real life racing?
Yeah, we've been really busy racing here at home. We got our biggest race this weekend, the Canadian Nationals coming up. It's a doubleheader at Sunset Speedway.
And I believe you
So
were the
we're
you were the winner of that last year, if I remember correctly.
yeah, so we're hoping to make it 2 in a row, but we'll see. And then back with Canadian Legend Cars there, we've been really busy in the shop working on customer cars and getting that stuff ready and then doing my own stuff. So it's been a busy season so far.
Well, Parker, I wanted to ask you because now you have 3 wins. That means you're going to have 3 bonus points going into the playoffs. Does it make you feel like you might be a favorite here for the championship as we get down to playoff time?
Yeah, possibly. You never know what's going to happen. So if I just can keep the momentum rolling, I think we'll be there at the end.
Jeff, he just said, yeah, possibly. He's won 3 races in a row, and yeah, maybe it might happen. Parker, we always talk about how it takes a try, but who do you want to give a shout out to this week?
Just want to thank you guys for putting this on because it's a ton of fun. All the guys at SPM, Canadian Legend Cars for sponsoring this week's races, and yeah, that's it.
All right, Parker. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us. Yeah, you're not very excited about this win. It's 3 in a row. I'd be losing my mind right now.
Just I don't like circumstances like what we were put in tonight. So, but yeah, it happens. It's part of short track racing, I guess.
Well
All
said,
right.
Parker. Well said. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, now we're going to get a chance to talk to our second place finisher tonight. And the guy who sits second in points is going to make up some points on Cole Cavery tonight with a solid top 3 run. Josh, you kept your nose clean. There was a lot going on there in the top 5 and around you. How did you keep that car so clean and stay out of trouble?
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm kind of shocked at that whole incident there. I can't believe I got through that with literally no penalty, like anything.
Well, Josh, talk to us. At the end of the race there, you had an opportunity. You watched everything. You were up there all night long. And you watched everybody taking shots at each other, bumping each other and whatnot. And you had an opportunity to get into the back of Parker Traves. You could have overdriven turns 3 and 4. What went through your head going into 3 and 4? And were you willing to take that shot? Clearly you didn't do it. But what were you thinking?
Honestly, even though I'm here for like consistent finishes, I want to win, but I also want to keep the consistent finishes since I'm in the points, and I have no problems with trays and or anything, so I wasn't gonna do it. I just want to keep getting these consistent finishes and keep helping my points out.
Well, you talk about the points, and we're getting down to just one race left before the playoffs start. Do you look ahead now to the playoffs now? It looks like you're going to be comfortably in those top 8 spots. Do you start thinking about those playoff tracks and which ones are going to suit you? And how about that championship event, Myrtle Beach? What's your feeling going into that?
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to Myrtle Beach. I feel like it's going to be a very difficult racetrack, based on how it was the icebreaker. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna just keep trying to get these solid top fives finishes. Even if I can't get a win, I'm happy with what I'm getting right now.
Well, you've been one to beat here, Josh, heading down into that playoff run. Do you think, clearly being in the playoffs and getting into the playoffs is going to be important, but at the end, that last race is probably going to take likely a win. Are you willing to make the moves at that point when we get down to the last race of the season?
Honestly, I probably would, but I don't like being known as the guy that just moves everybody for the win. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
I like being the clean car. I don't like starting stuff with people. So far, it's been working for me with these solid runs. I like to keep my nose clean.
Well said, by the way. Well said.
Well, Josh, we want to give you an opportunity to thank everybody you need to thank, and we know it takes a lot of people, so go ahead. I know there's a lot of names on the side of that car.
First of all, I want to thank y'all. I mean, what a race to watch that was. That was more exciting. I bet it's more exciting to watch the broadcast than it was being in it. Thank y'all for obviously doing the broadcast. I want to thank everybody that puts this league on. I mean, I've been having fun. Glad I'm running up front. Thank you to Brett Suggs Racing Marketing for sponsoring me and helping me get into this league. Very thankful for him. Hangout Chat Motorsports, Cox Motorsports, all of them guys. Everybody that helps me get better each week. It's been fun running up front with these boys. I know it's really hard to get a win, so I'm going to keep trying, but very happy with these consistent finishes.
Well, you've been having a great season, Josh. And you might want to put some extra padding in your helmet coming next week if you're going to keep running up front with these guys. Because I'm a little bit worried. But congratulations, man. Great job.
Thank you all.
Now joining us, our third place finisher, and it's been a little bit since we got to talk to this guy. And Grayson Ward, you ran in the top 5 all night. You stayed out of trouble. I asked Josh the same thing. How hard was it to keep the car clean and stay out of trouble when there was so much going on around you guys?
Yeah, I mean, that was the main thing, just keep your nose clean. And, I think we qualified second, so we had to start, back towards 10th or 8th or something like that. And, just try to play the restart games on them and, get the bottom line because, the bottom's going to prevail on them. And, you just try to avoid the mayhem there at the end. He's getting pretty wild and there's a lot of bent feelings over a lot of things, it sounds like. But, I wasn't a big fan of this track actually, but towards the end of the race, I was like, it's starting to come in for me. I kind of like it more than I thought it would. It kind of drives like Oxford a little bit, but better in a way because you're always turning and you're never fully wide open. So, saving the right front's pretty key. And honestly, the setup's a little tight, so you wanted to spin the right rear more to try to get it to rotate a little bit better. But yeah, just trying to play the restart games and getting on the bottom and. Right there at the end, kind of got used up a little bit, about a 60, but, it is what it is. It's, going for it right there at the end of the race. So, likely to hang on a third.
Well, Grayson, Jeff said it. We haven't, I don't think we've talked to you since Late Model Challenger Series last season.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so it's good to finally talk to you again, being in the top 3 on the podium. Do you think you'll be able to use the momentum coming from this race and finishing third to start grabbing some more top 3s, top 5s heading on into the playoffs?
Yeah, definitely. I believe I got the speed to do it. It's just staying out of trouble, and I try not to be as aggressive as a lot of these guys because if I feel like if I'm aggressive, then they might wreck and I have to go to the back. So I've always been cautious of that. But I mean, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, and we're kind of a little deep in points than what I'd like to be, but we're going to have to start getting something done.
well, you said you're a little bit deeper in the points than you'd like to be. You're sitting 7th coming into tonight, so you had about a 14-point gap on the guys sitting outside the playoff spots right now. Does it make you feel a little bit better going into that regular season finale in 2 weeks? That you got a great points night tonight. Maybe you feel a little bit more comfortable heading into that final race.
I don't feel like no point lead or no buffer is safe with these group of people right here. You never know what you're gonna get. You might get a caution-free race, and you might get record-breaking cautions. You just never know. So I feel like you need the biggest point gap you can get from 8th, I believe it is, to make that playoff. So you just got to stay on our toes and get some practice in. I haven't been able to get on here as much as I like to, and I plan on getting on here a little bit more throughout the week, and practicing whatever track we're going to race the coming up week. So hopefully we'll be pretty good.
Well, Grayson, we hadn't. You had a great season last year in Late Model Challenger Series. It was our first season, having you here in the zone racing, and this is your first season with Late Model Shootout Series. How does it feel? Tell us how it feels to finish top 3 with this group of drivers. I mean, so many good drivers out there. What does it feel to get on a podium with them?
Yeah, I mean, this group of guys right here is the best of the best, and I feel like I got speed to win these races, but I just time off away from the sim, kind of hurts me a little bit, but and then also I feel like some of these guys' egos gets to them. I feel like they all feel like they're the best of the best, and I guess they're rightfully so. But yeah, I mean, last year we ran good last year with that Challenger guys, and came up one lap or one corner short, win that championship at Wilkesboro. So maybe hopefully we can get in the mix and be in the same predicament come the final week.
Well, Grayson, before we let you go, we want to give you a chance to thank everybody you need to thank. And I know these teams are getting pretty large in the super late model world, and it's the only way to kind of survive is by having a big group you can rely on. So let us know who's in that group. Who do you got to thank?
Yeah, just everybody at Elite Performance Industries, Duke Matthews Racing's, Ryan Matthews, Alex McCollum, Tyler Payne, just everybody over there that's helped me out through the last, year and a half or so. It's a great group of guys to work with, and War Performance, Hair Images, Showtime Video and Tandon, New Day Motorsports, and Jeff Day, Precision Bit Spindles, and y'all guys putting on a great league, man. It's a stacked field to come in here and run against. Some guys were getting sent home, in that heat race. I was watching it, and I was like, man, that's some good guys going home, so y'all doing a great job, drawing a good crowd and, good broadcast.
Well, thank you, Grayson. We appreciate it, and we're going to let you go get ready we're going to take a week off, and then we'll be back after the holiday. So I hope you have a great Labor Day. You got any plans for Labor Day?
I don't know. No,
go watch some race cars somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll be at the racetrack probably.
There you go.
All right, man. It sounds like a great way to spend the holiday weekend.
Hey, yeah.
Well, that will do it tonight, Bill Tomer. That was a heck of a race. 26 drivers, a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of bumping and baiting, and to me, it just makes it more excited about what's coming in the final 4 races of the season, because now we're starting to see some guys becoming enemies, and who knows what they might do to one another to secure a championship.
I'm not going to go with enemies, Jeff, but I think definitely we're seeing some guys becoming each other's nemesis out there. But yeah, it is pretty exciting. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, you never know. I mean, people are really upset right now, and you never know what you're going to get coming down to the end of the season. But the worst time for anything bad to happen is going to be in that championship race. So we'll see how that happens at the last race of the season. But this getting pretty exciting, Jeff. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic racing. Irwindale Inter never disappoints. And if you liked what you saw tonight, there's going to be a lot more of that tomorrow night. The Tuesday night County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series will be in action. And Bill, those guys have been getting after it quite a bit. And if tomorrow night's anything like what we saw tonight, it could just be absolute chaos tomorrow night too.
I'm terrified. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. I mean, those guys, they've been fantastic, but they really do like to rough each other up. And we saw this group, who normally runs pretty nicely with each other, they really like to rough each other up tonight. So we'll see what we get tomorrow night, but I think we're going to see a whole lot more of the same.
Well, remember, we do have next Monday off for Labor Day, so we hope you enjoy your Labor Day weekend. We will be back on September the 12th, Monday night, for the Late Model Shootout Series with the 16 XCI Racing 125. You can catch us tomorrow night. We will have racing with the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series, another Canadian Legend Cars West 150. Before we go, we got to thank our sponsors, Elite Performance Industries. We got to thank Moonlight Speed LLC. We got to thank Alex McCollum Racing and, of course, International Short Track Association for the Quick Time Award. Thank you to everybody that's been watching on Facebook. Make sure you're following us on Facebook throughout the week for news and updates about what's coming up. And as we head to those final four races, the big four that really count and matter. And it's going to be a lot of fun as the season goes on.
I agree. I think this one, well, if you like soap operas, you saw the opening act tonight. I think that's kind of what we're looking at. There was more WWE stuff happening tonight than anything I've seen in a while. So tomorrow night we'll see what happens. But 2 weeks from now, we'll see what happens in the Late Model Shootout Series going forward with these guys. Hopefully that extra week off will give them an opportunity to cool off.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thank you to everybody watching on Facebook. And thank you to everybody on YouTube, on Twitch. If you're seeing this, make sure you're following us on Facebook at In the Zone Racing. And we will see you tomorrow night, County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series for another Canadian Legend Cars West 150.